effective. Speaking of weather, looks like we got a couple of Pokemon here that's going to take full advantage of it, including Torkoal with Walking Wake. We got Whimsicott, their own Terapagos, Rillaboom, and Farigiraf. So this honestly looks like a really strong Regulation F team. They just added Terapagos to the mix, which is definitely scary. I can see Drickum potentially going up, but I don't think that they need to rely on it. I think the main thing is using Farigiraf to help deny the priority. Man, with Terapagos in the mix, that's tough. Because, yeah, one of the things is, like, to try to stop Terapagos from, like, going off is, like, yeah, giving yourself some free turns and some time to knock it out. But we won't really necessarily get that. I think Rillaboom is decent. Torkoal's what scares me the most. Bolt looks okay, but Whimsicott, oh man, yeah, they're a really strong constructed team here. I'm down for a Bolt. Intimidate doesn't even help out much, right? Primarina looks weak against their Rillaboom. Okay, what would they... I'm gonna go with Bolt Rillaboom with Ninetales and Primarina. Arachnid, I think the problem with it is, like, it hits... It does well against Walking Wake and Torkoal, but with the sun up, it's not damage output. Unfortunately, gets sliced, even with that water bubble boost. So definitely it's a tougher one. I think Arachnid is like a hit. It's really strong. It's great, but it definitely feels like a hit or miss. But could be enough to discourage like the Chirping stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get Rillaboom Raging Bolt. And we're going to get the Terra Shift immediately for Terapagos here. So we're not going to... Maybe they Terra immediately. But if I can get a big hit off of Terapagos early, I think that's going to be super helpful. It's the Battle of the Long Necks, though. I think here I'm going to... Thunderbolt. Let me look. If you switched out... Rillaboom would be the only Pokemon that can take the combination of Thunderbolt and Warhammer. The rest of the team wouldn't... Oh, and Whimsicott, too. I could also Dragon Pulse. Then it's still Whimsicott. I'm down for Thunderbolt Woodhammer, honestly. Let's go for it. Yeah, and they're going to commit the Terra to Terapagos early. Okay. That means they are attacking. We do lose grassy terrain, so our Woodhammer won't do as much damage, but it should... Yeah, that's the one thing, too, of like, man, oh, the boost from Woodhammer, it's gone. But... Oh, geez. With Helping Hand support, too? Oh, gosh. We're gonna get slammed. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't lead Ninetales, though. Ninetales would have just gotten destroyed. That's just an obscene amount of damage. Alright, Woodhammer. It's not enough for a KO, unfortunately. And I get Thunderbolt. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you see how much damage that did, right? And the fact that you barely, right, it just needs to hold on for a little bit. Sure. Oh my gosh, yeah, Terapagos is just eating us for breakfast. Yeah, a spread type move that always gets I think it's a 1.2 times boost, neutral against everything, but then becomes super effective against terrestrialized Pokemon. Oh my god, this thing just is like a monster. And here comes Helping Hand again, sure. And it's Terra Star Storm, yeah. So I'm gonna lose Rillaboom here. There aren't many White Guard Pokemon. I mean, like, it would have been Arachnid, but that's the thing, though. Like, yeah, you got one White Guard Pokemon, but then... I think, honestly, like, Garganacl might find a way in a format where Terapagos is going crazy. But, because the White Guard support, sure, but also, too, of, like, it could be especially defensively bulky, and that in itself helps out a lot. Yeah, I think in this case we just need to target down Terapagos, and we'll use Moonblast, and we'll use Thunderbolt on the, so let me see, you could switch in Torkoal on Moonblast. So I don't mind Thunderbolting into Farigiraf, and I will go for Moonblast into Terapagos. Do I outspeed Terapagos? I think I outspeed. Yeah, so that turn was dumb for them. So that one definitely was a wasted turn. I think the following turn now I get an ability to say like, hey, I can use like Aurora Veil. So that was a huge misplay on their end. If Torkoal comes out, then I feel comfortable going with Moonblast and Thunderbolt to prevent Trick Room from coming up. They could predict that and attack with Torkoal. Yeah. But, yeah, so they have 2 plays. They can actually attack with Torkoal. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Photosynthesis activates, right? So my special attack gets increased. How much damage did I... Oh, I'll get the KO here with Thunderbolt. And I'll just switch you out with Primarina. Yeah. Thunderbolt you, switch you out for Primarina. So this is like, I'm calling out if you decide to protect or not with Torkoal. I should get the KO on Farigiraf, and there's no defensive tear that you can use. Okay, so you do go on the offense, yeah. This should do a decent amount. I think Bolt survives. Yeah, Bolt survives. Okay. I do have all my Terras, but I think Terra Ninetales is going to be the move. And Rillaboom, the Unrivaled. Okay. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Do I Terra Primarina or do I Terra Ninetales? That's a tricky one. I think I want to Thunderbolt and Bolt and Torkoal and Protect here. Yeah, I don't think I want to Terra. I need to knock out Torkoal first. Yeah, Grass Terra still works well, because, like, what happens if they fake out into Bolt and then knock it out? Sure. Okay, faked out into Primarina, which we like to see. That means Bolt's going to get a really strong Thunderbolt off into Torkoal. It's a lot, and we have Earth Power. Perfectly fine by me. That means that Primarina is going to be our best option for a Terra. Okay. Cool. So winning Ninetales, we'll Terra Primarina, use Hyper Voice on both to get a special attack boost. And then that means it's Ninetales. Yeah. So we're gonna Aurora Veil here. Terra Grass, Hyper Voice on both. Torkoal is kind of locked in, and we prevented Trick Room. Yeah, I think the turn that they threw away the game was the Helping Hand with Terapagos, because I know Terapagos has 85, that's one weakness, it's 85 base speed, so Ninetales naturally outspeeds, but from slower teams, like, this team's a little bit slower, it is stronger on that one, right? So if a team that's slower uses Priority, Terapagos actually does a lot. Yeah, and so I think things like having Recovery for Terapagos can be helpful. Heal Pulse, for instance, or things like that. But yeah, the Helping Hand was a waste for them. And now with Terapagos off the field, we feel more confident tearing, right? Primarina Tear into Grass means that it resists Rillaboom. And Rillaboom would have to go for, like, probably Grassy Glide at this point, right? So, Torkoal protects, which makes sense, but at this point in the game, not a big deal. I set up Aurora Veil, which is huge. And we get the Wood Hammer. Yeah, and you can see how little damage that did, right? And then Throat Spray activates, sure. I wonder what... I do definitely want to knock out Torkoal. I'm down for... Actually, I am going to Protect, and I'm going to Hyper Voice. I feel like if I get lucky with how I position my KO against Rillaboom, because Rillaboom can easily go to Wood Hammer into Ninetales. I'll take it comfortably, but that's just like free damage on the board. Rillaboom also hasn't revealed U-turn, which is something, yeah, for Torkoal going for the double Protect is a smart call. And did Rillaboom target it into Ninetales? That's the turn I want to call out. So I get another additional turn with Primarina doing some solid damage here. So guaranteed knockout on Torkoal, which is perfect. We get some recovery here, and this just makes the end game a lot easier for us. So yeah, now we can just Freeze Dry, Moonblast, and just go from there. Especially too, because Primarina has like full health. That means that your damage from Wood Hammer also will add up too. So now we can just Freeze Dry, Moonblast. So they most likely have high horsepower if they went for that. I did like the double Protect, though, on Torkoal. I think that was a good play. Because if they did get it, it would actually make this next fight, next turn a little bit harder. So, yeah. So, Freeze Dry does a lot. Wood Hammer's going to come out. It'll do... Yeah, it doesn't get us down to half, which is great. But that Recoil hurts, and then we get to fire off this Moonblast at +1. We can knock out Rillaboom. Yeah. So, yeah. Great battle. Woo! But, yeah, I think the opponent... It was that turn where they Helping Handed and then tried to do Terra Starstorm. Since Ninetales outsped Trapagos, it didn't help them. So I think that what they should have done was try to find a way to pivot in Torkoal, make it harder for Ninetales to win, and then Trapagos can just sweep from there. But they just didn't find that play.